If you're here, then you probably have a deep love for character creation, or maybe you just want to make some whacked out looking characters to scare your friends. I can't think of too many games that do it better than Chimeraland. And if you weren't aware, Chimeraland has now released and is available on Steam and mobile devices. The game is an open world sandbox RPG survival game, and even though it may feel a lot like an MMO, you would be hard-pressed to find more than 20 players in an area at any given time. But Chimeraland still has a lot going for it, such as a decent building system, a complex taming system, and in this video, I dive into the character creation, which blew me away the first time I jumped into the game on mobile. So if you're here, then you're probably wondering what's going on with character creation in Chimeraland, so let's check it out. In Chimeraland, you have a ton of choices on the kind of character you want to create. You essentially have 16 base races, but each race has masculine and feminine versions of the race, and some of them have different character models and names entirely. Before we get too far into it, let's get started with what happens when you first load into the game. You'll be taken to the character select screen, and you'll notice that you'll have this large wheel here where you can select both the masculine and feminine versions. And in my opinion, this wheel can be a little bit wonky. It does let you see what the masculine and feminine versions of each race are, but if you want things to be a little bit easier for you to select and choose what you're looking for, what I would recommend is to go up to the top here, and instead of choosing free mode, just select precise instead. You can see that this layout is way cleaner and it makes it a lot easier to select the races that you're looking for. So each race can also be called something completely different at different stages in their growth. These changes in different life cycle stages are presets that you can select, and there are a ton of them. As an example, let's start with something we're familiar with, which is the basic human. On one end of the spectrum, you have the old man. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you have the old woman. In between, you have a young man, a young boy, a young girl, and a young lady. Each stage of life has some distinct and specific traits, with other more unorthodox races like the Frork using the same name for both the masculine and feminine races, but they are different. The Killark masculine stage looks a lot like a great white shark, while the feminine Killark looks a lot like a catfish. You see big differences between each race as you go through each stage. Here's a quick look at each race and each of the different development stage presets that you can choose. those options alone, you have more than 100 preset choices to choose from, and that's before you get to customize your looks. Each race has their own specific options that you can customize, and sure, you can change their skin color and eye color, but you can also change their body proportions and even make changes to some of their unique body traits. For example, these particular bird creatures, the marl, can have their mane and tail customized, and you can also toy around with their facial proportions to make their beaks and eyes look very different, which works pretty well. Other creatures, like the insects, have a ton of things to customize, like their wings and antennae. However, you don't have a ton of options for each race, especially for these special customized features. In fact, some would say that the hair options for regular humans are ridiculously limited. Undoubtedly, Level Infinite did this so that you have to either find cosmetics within the game or buy them later on. For now though, there are enough options just in the character creator alone that can keep you busy for a while. Hours, in fact, like literally multiple hours screwing around in the character creator. You can come up with some really great looking characters or some really weird stuff, and that's before you even load into the world. If you're digging the character creator for Chimeraland, head on over to MMORPG.com and read more about our experiences with the game so far, and stay tuned to this channel as we detail our adventures in Chimeraland and plenty of other indie RPGs and MMORPGs which are headed your way. So thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.